Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's February 23rd, 2017. It's being reported that longtime Fox News TV host Alan Colmes has died today from illness at age 66. What's really interesting is earlier today, before this news, I put out this video right here, the President's Week Lesson 2017. At the beginning of this video, I teach about the significance of the number 66, 666, and 223, which is a lot like today's date, the date Alan Colmes has passed, February 23rd. And in case you didn't watch this video, here's what you need to know. There's this infamous verse from the 66th book of the Bible, Revelation, the book that closes most Bibles. Revelation 13:18 reads, "Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, or 666. Here is wisdom has gematria of 66. So does number of the beast. And Revelation's the 66th book. The second part of this verse, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, has gematria of 223, which is an important number to Freemasonry. Freemasonry, the keepers of knowledge, the international secret society crossing all nations, all cultures. So I gave that lesson this morning. Now, hours later, news of Alan Colmes dying at age 66, and he's remembered for working for Fox News. Fox breaks down to 666. F is the sixth letter. O is the 15th. In numerology, 1 plus 5 for 15 is 6. X is the 24th. 2 plus 4 for 24 is 6. So FOX breaks down to 666. The 66-year-old Colmes, remembered for working on Fox, dead on 223. You know? Let him that hath understanding. So I just educated about these numbers this morning. I've educated about them before. Here's another example of the worth of understanding gematria. This past weekend, I didn't have to, but I participated in a debate about the relevance of gematria. I had to explain to people why gematria was relevant, which to me is amazing. You'd think after all the knowledge I've put out, the whole world would know how relevant gematria is. But just again, I do a lesson this morning. This lesson is now practical information you can use just hours later. The death of this man, very suspicious. Dead from brief illness. Let me show you what else is interesting about him dying today. His birth numerology is 48. 48. Here's why that's so interesting. We're going to go to numberempire.com. The number 223 is the 48th prime. The 48th prime number. Alan Colmes has birth numerology of 48. At gematrinator.com, you can also check this. Up at the top, just click numbers. Type in 223. It'll tell you if it's a prime number. Yes, it's the 48th. Number Empire, Gematrinator. They both got you covered. So his birth numerology connects to 223. Today's date, 223 equals Masonic, 42 equals Freemason. Today's date has heavy numbers of Masonry. Today's date has 17 numerology, both the words kill and Mason sum to 17, 62 as well. Mason alone sums to 62. Did you know that March 3rd, 33, 33, the number of Freemason obsession, is the 62nd day of the calendar year? So anyhow, today's date is loaded. He has died a span of 153 days from his 66th birthday. 153 is very often paired with 42 in this study. In the Bible, there's the miraculous catch of 153 fish. The word fish, using the alphabetic order, is also 42. To his upcoming birthday, which would have been his 67th, is 213 days from today. 213, number of Masonry. Nimrod, the original Freemason from the Bible. 213, connected to killing throughout history. Very interesting the way it all lines up with his birthday and today. Fox News, the person who wrote the article remembering him, Howard Kurtz. Interesting choice. Howard and Kurtz, put it together, sums to 66, like Alan Colmes' age of death. Both Howard and Kurtz equal 33, like the word ill. Supposedly he died from illness. Again, dead at age 66, remembered for Fox News 666. When I was looking at this article, one of the things that stood out was the use of the term brief illness. I just want to show you this real quick. Brief illness, 58. Just like Freemasonry, just like secret society, special number. If I had to guess, I would guess that Alan Colmes is really not dead. If he's dead, he was a ritual sacrifice. This man was murdered. My guess is he just gets to escape his TV celebrity, if you want to call it that, and retire. 66, age of retirement. He began working with Fox News in 96. Remember, Freemason, 42 the small way, 96 the big way. The divisors of 42 sum to 96. Today's day has 42 numerology. Major Masonic tributes today. Sean Hannity and Alan Colmes. This is what Alan Colmes is mostly remembered for years. Fox had the show Hannity and Colmes. It was supposed to be the fair and balanced conservative and liberal analysis. Anyone who watched that show, it was very obvious what Fox News was trying to present to its viewers. Sean Hannity, always confident, loud in his speech. Some people might say Sean Hannity was handsome. Alan Colmes, on the other hand, always soft-spoken, timid, the exact opposite of confident, seemingly unsure of himself, plus always very pasty, looking very alien-like, It was all symbolic. And Alan Colmes just always made the weakest arguments. He was just playing his part. Fox News caters to the right, the Republicans. They want to make their opponents look weak. That's what Alan Colmes was. He embodied weakness. Anyone who thinks Alan Colmes was a liberal, people in America need to understand they don't even know what the word liberal means. Liberal means open-minded, willing to change, looking to improve. In reality, everyone should be a liberal. But that's not what people know the definition of liberal as here. It's just a smeared word. It's represented by people like Alan Colmes. I noticed Sean Hannity tweeted at 7:59, 7 plus 59, 66. Interesting that Hannity, and they use the and symbol for their show. I meant to put that in the calculator. If you write it like this, Hannity and Colmes sums to 59 in reduction, just like the word liberal. 59 is a number that's connected to killing throughout history. Just interesting that Sean Hannity tweeted at 7:59 a.m. in light of the death at 66. These Masons give tributes in the numbers. It's also interesting that his wife is a Crowley, Aleister Crowley wrote a lot about numbers, the significance of numbers, gematria. So anyway, this is why we're reading about Alan Colmes' death today. What else it reminds me of is the death of Tim Russert. If I got his name spelled right here. Tim Russert used to do Meet the Press. He asked George W. Bush and John Kerry about being in Skull and Bones, bringing up the number 322, Skull and Bones identified by the number 322. Tim Russert, after asking Bush and Kerry in 2004, the two men who were running for president, Republican and Democratic Party, part of the same secret society at Yale, Skull and Bones, he asked them both about their involvement. I want to show you what was so interesting about his death. His death had a lot of the same numbers. Here's the story of Tim Russert's death, who asked possibly the wrong question to Bush and Kerry. Shortly after 1:30 p.m. on June 13th, 2008, Russert collapsed at the offices of WRC-TV, which houses the Washington, D.C. Bureau of NBC News, where he was chief. He was recording voiceovers for the Sunday edition of Meet the Press. According to Brian Williams, during his speech at the Kennedy Center, Russert's last words were, "What's happening?" spoken as a greeting to NBC Washington Bureau Editing Supervisor Candace Harrington as he passed her in the hallway. He then walked down the hallway to record voiceovers in the soundproof booth and collapsed. A co-worker began on him. The District of Columbia Fire and Rescue Service received a call from NBC at 1:40 and dispatched EMS unit at 1:44 p.m. It's interesting how all throughout history the number 144 is connected to killing and death. If you take the first 144 decimal points of pi and add them together, they sum to 666, the number of the beast. Paramedics attempted to defibrillate Russert's heart 3 times, but he did not respond. Russert was then transported to Sibley Memorial Hospital, arriving at 2:23 p.m., 2:23, where he was pronounced dead. He was 58 years old. Brief illness, 58. Freemasonry Secret Society, 223. The person that hath understanding will calculate the number of the beast. 223, the reflection of 322, what he asked Bush and Kerry about in 2004 on Meet the Press. He died on a Friday the 13th, Tim Russert, at 2:23. Friday the 13th is 223. Masonic, the Synagogue of Satan, a name that comes from Revelation. Mark of the Beast, 144. I'll link this post. There's a little more information here. I just wanted to show you the parallels between Russert and Alan Colmes today. The numbers on Alan Colmes remind me of Tim Russert. I'll link this post, just a little history lesson on Abraham Lincoln. He had an assassination attempt on his life today in history that was synced up by the numbers, connecting to the number 666. So again, more relevance of gematria. Learn a lesson in the morning, pays off later in the day. Until next time.